how we're shaping up as it stands. Of course, the Diwali celebrations well underway now. Nifty futures are looking like this. And I mentioned Diwali celebrations kicking off today, and the festive rush is in full swing in India. Markets and temples across the country lit up over the weekend as families stocked up on gifts and decorations for the Festival of Lights. And it isn't just local foot traffic that's booming. Travel data from Agoda shows Diwali has become a major magnet for both domestic and international travelers. Searches for trips within India are up 18% during this holiday period, while inbound interest from overseas has surged 67% year on year, led by huge demand from South Korea, Southeast Asia, the UAE, and the United States. So what's driving this spike in travel during Diwali, and which destinations are attracting the most visitors this season? Well, here to offer a view is Hari Ganapathy, the co-founder and CEO of the booking platform Pickyourtrail. Hari, welcome to the program. Great to have you on today. So first of all, happy Diwali, but also tell me, what is driving the latest trends that you're seeing on Pickyourtrail right now?
Thanks for having me on the show. Happy Diwali to you too and all the viewers. I think this festive season is generally a booking period for Indian travelers, and there's a lot of leaves around, and a lot of kids also have school holidays. So that's what's driving traditionally the demand. But also, like you said, a lot of visa on arrival destinations and combined with low airfare, low-cost carriers is driving a lot of new age traveler demand as well.
It's interesting, I was looking over some numbers, and according to your own stats here, Indians are booking holidays 50 days ahead now versus 40 days last year. What does that tell us about consumer confidence and disposable income heading into this really important festival period?
I think clearly international travelers are a subsegment of the overall Indian economy, which are in some sense not extremely affected by what's happening all around, as a lot of discretionary spend holidays are. And what it clearly shows is Indian travelers are getting mature. They're realizing that booking early gives them advantages in price, availability, and as they seek out more experiences, they're realizing that in extremely smaller, quainter towns, availability is becoming a big challenge. And this is an average platform level. If you look at long-haul destinations, this number is even higher. So I think it's a very healthy trend. Internationally, Europeans, for example, plan their holidays even 4 to 6 months in advance. Indians are known to be last-minute bookers, but it's good to see that they're catching up with the long-term booking window as well.
Do you think people are locking in early as well because airfares and hotel rates are perhaps rising faster than inflation right now as well? There's a cost element to this too.
Yeah, absolutely, you're right. I think if you're able to book ahead, you get extremely good steal deals on airlines. They also are looking at the load factor. So you tend to get airline fares which are extremely cheap compared to what you would get if you're booking, let's say, 2 months in advance. So I think, yes, you're absolutely bang on right there.
And give me your own anecdotal evidence as well. Are you seeing any reaction among your client base right now or your users as a result of the weaker rupee? And to a broader point here, global macro headwinds as well. Or is the Indian traveller still happy to travel and spend abroad despite what we're seeing happen with the currency right now?
I think currency movements do play a role. For example, destinations where Indian rupee is getting stronger, we are seeing some bit of movement. See, I think airline and hotel is one part of the spend. What we have seen, and using our own estimates with user studies, people spend anywhere between 20 to 40% of a holiday spend in destination. So Indians are one of the largest in-destination spenders on shopping and food, right? So I think there, the decisions of the currency make a difference. So for example, destinations like Japan or Sri Lanka, where Indian currency is slightly doing better, we're seeing a lot of movement to those destinations as well.
Can I also ask you about where travellers are actually going as well? You mentioned Dubai is back. Vietnam has also been hot all year, according to some more anecdotal evidence as well. What would you say is actually driving the inbound travel to these destinations? What's hot right now, what's not, and why?
Currently, I think if you look at it, two, three buckets in which people are traveling. One is your entire events led. So Northern Lights, we just finished the entire migration in Africa. So I think those events and music festivals, these are things that are driving one set of demand. That's one set of destinations. F1, for example, also is falls in the category. Otherwise, right now, like you said, Vietnam has been doing really well this year, and Japan too, both driven by easier visas and better connectivity. Vietnam, in fact, there's a small island called Phu Quoc, which is visa on arrival if you're flying in directly into Phu Quoc. So, in fact, some travel companies have also launched exclusive charters into Phu Quoc. I think these kind of it's also a signal of maturity of the Indian traveler. While there are destinations for first-time travelers, travelers are also getting smarter. They're looking at destinations which they can kind of decide in a very quick time frame. And if the airfare, which I think thanks to low-cost carriers continues to be competitive, they're able to kind of quickly make a decision and travel. I think that's what's driving a lot of last-minute travel. And destinations like Australia, Europe, which are traditionally long haul, which have visas involved. I think customers are planning well in advance because the average spend is at least 1.5 to 2 times more than some of these shorter destinations. So it's still a pre-planned getaway.
Indeed, and that's what makes this so interesting as well, because I also think it's fair to say that we're seeing the travel operators, the airlines, global tourism departments as well, getting much more sophisticated about how they attract the Diwali traveller too. This has become such an important holiday period on the global travel scene now, and indeed it is attracting a lot of interest from these tour operators around the world in places like Japan, for example, which historically may not have necessarily attracted the Indian consumer. So, Hari, what do you see as the market that's going to be driving the most growth going forward? Where do you see the best opportunity for these businesses who might be actually operating in the travel space, looking to tap into this really lucrative and growing market?
So I think India's, like you said, a lot of tourism boards are also focusing on India as next big source of market. I think for the next 10 to 15 years, the Indian outbound story is very, very strong. And there are multiple segments of customers emerging. So for example, the entire, like I said, festivals slash sporting events, there's a set of people traveling, right? And then there's the honeymoon and family segment that continues to be there. I think what's happening is the tourism boards are trying to also make it attractive for people to come back. For example, ski tourism is picking up in some European countries, right? So I think what is happening with the Indian consumer is while there is a lot of demand from your top 8 cities or metros, there's a lot of demand also coming in from your ancillary cities, right? Tier 2 cities. And with the Indian government's push on UDAN, which is our regional air connectivity initiative, there's a lot of connectivity just getting established in these tier 2 cities, and a lot of low-cost carriers also getting slots to connect some of these cities, right? So, which I think is getting direct flights into these holiday hubs from tier 2, tier 3 cities, which is actually making it expanding your overall addressable market. So they're not coming into Bombay or Chennai or Gurgaon to fly out. They're flying from Pune, they're flying from Trichy, Kochi, Vizag, which I think augurs really, really well.
Indeed, and I also think that if spending power and incomes continue to rise, then this segment of the travel market is going to be one to very closely watch. Hari, just on another point here, you mentioned the long-run trajectory for external India tourism. What is your forecast for the year ahead as well? And do you think outbound travel will still see double-digit growth ahead, or are we nearing a saturation point?
I think we're nowhere close to a saturation point. I think we're just getting started. Obviously, macroeconomic factors, overall, stability in various pockets of the world do affect customer sentiment. I think it is a fact. That's what makes it exciting about the entire industry. It's not just your own strategy which defines growth, but a series of other factors. But I think in the medium term, the Indian outbound piece is very, very solid. There is rising income levels, and people are looking at travel now as a lifestyle from a discretionary spend, and especially the younger audience, 23 to 30, are increasingly looking at amassing experiences, not necessarily materialistic items. So I think post-pandemic, the push on experiences has been real, and that's going to continue to drive. And you're seeing, people traveling for Northern Lights, ski, sporting events, and I think that's going to continue to drive the Indian outbound. And I don't foresee why we would not go at a healthy double digit for the next 5 years CAGR.
Yeah, it's a good point. And as you say, there are significant macro tailwinds as well. Of course, not just lower RBI rates, for example, and, improving liquidity and credit conditions, higher incomes, the demand for experiences post-COVID all playing into this as well. Hari, what would you say is the biggest risk to your double-digit growth thesis there? And is there anything that's giving you pause for thought or concern about what could potentially happen when it comes to India's overall travel and the outbound market moving forward?
It's a very interesting question, something we keep discussing internally as well. See, I think clearly what's happening in the US and what's going to happen if something happens in the US, I think will have worldwide ramifications, and it might kind of have some trickle-down effects as well. But if you see, a lot of now Indian push also is towards local manufacturing and local self-sustenance. So I think some of that may be offset by what's happening within India. I think in the last 3 to 5 years, India has kind of absorbed the shocks of the global markets quite well, I would think. But I think that's going to be one of the biggest question marks, so to say. What's going to happen in the global economy? How much is India going to get affected? But one thing for sure on the outbound side is what's going to happen if India is not affected too much is that a lot of these economies, Indians are going to come in and spend. So I think Indians are going to be a lot more welcome, and local tourism boards would be looking up to India, to be in the top 3 to 5 in terms of remittances and spending, I think.
Okay. Hari, before we let you go, how are you spending your Diwali? Looks like you're going to be in the office, my friend.
No. So I think we try and support some bit of customers also. So I think that's why in office. But I think now it's going to be with family and bursting some crackers and eating a lot of good food.
Sounds good. Okay, we'll leave it there. Hari, really appreciate the conversation. Thank you so much for being here. Hari Ganapathy there from Pickyourtrail with the latest travel trends during Diwali. Thanks again. And we are counting down to the market opening.